Bonsoir, hi, I'm Madame Hennessy, and I will be teaching your students French here at the HIJH this year. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to physically be there with you guys tonight for our teacher-parent night. The reason why I'm not there with you right now is because my first 4 classes of the day are over at Fisher's Junior High, and only 6th and 7th periods are here at the HIJH, so I'm physically there tonight. So hopefully this video will be a good introduction for you, but I hope to have opportunities to interact with you guys in the future. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys some information about my personal background, different things that students are able to look forward to in my class this year, and different resources that are available to them. So just starting with my own personal background with the French language. I'm a native English speaker, and I first began learning French when I was in 8th grade. I absolutely loved my 8th grade French 1 teacher, and she laid a really solid foundation in the French language for me. And that enabled me to learn French much more effectively throughout the rest of my schooling. And I have a lot of respect and admiration for the impact that she had on my learning. So I'm hoping to be able to have that same sort of impact on your kids as I teach them French this year. And hopefully I can give them a love for language learning, a love for the French culture, and then they can just enjoy what they get out of my class in the future. So after taking 8th grade French, I continued taking French classes through high school and college. I studied French at Indiana University in Bloomington, and then I spent my final semester of undergrad in Aix-en-Provence, a city in the south of France, and I studied linguistics at Aix-Marseille Université during that semester. After I returned to the States, I was in the transition to teaching program at IU, where I received my license in secondary French and biology. So I am licensed to help your kids out with science. For example, if your kid is in my SLT, then that would be a great time for them to ask me science questions in addition to any French questions that they may have. I'm happy to be a resource for as many things as I can for your kids. The first 3 years of my career, I was over in Lawrence Township teaching at Belzer and Fall Creek Valley Middle Schools. I've always split my days between 2 schools. And this is my first year in Hamilton Southeastern, and I am thrilled to be here. I feel really lucky to be teaching such an incredible group of students here this year. I've already noticed how bright and how hardworking these kids are, how attentive they are, and I just want to thank you for sending your kids to this school and for letting them take my class. I'm really glad to have them here. Things to look forward to in French class. So one of my goals is that students will have something to look forward to every single day in my class. So we have a little theme for every single day of the week. Monday is Langue et Culture Lundi, Language and Culture Monday. So we have a brief discussion of examples of French language and culture that students have seen outside of class. Tuesdays is Mardi Gras. So we talk about a different French food at the beginning of class each Tuesday. Wednesday is Macaron Mercredi. So we have little macaron shaped erasers, and each week one student from each class period earns the macaron of the week for something exceptional that they've done. So it's just a way to make sure that these kids are getting a little bit of recognition for the incredible things that they end up doing every single week in my class and all over the building. Thursday is Jeune Jeudi, Youthful Thursday. So students learn a slang term every single week, so it's not just formal textbook speaking, but they also learn something that's more fluid, more practical, and will give them a greater ability to speak with their peers in French. And then Friday is Vidéo Vendredi, Video Friday, and we begin our class period with usually a music video, sometimes just an informative video that ties in with either a brief language or culture lesson before we get into our primary content of the day. The curriculum this year is going to include some basic French reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. When it comes to different assessments that we do this year, I'm going to aim to have more of our tests and quizzes being focused on speaking and listening, and more of our homework and projects being writing based, because in real life you have to listen and speak on the spot and you get time to read and write. So I try to have these different assessments reflect the way that you use language in real life. Overall, grades will be comprised of 40% of the semester grade is from term 1, 40% of the semester grade is term 2, and then 20% of the semester grade comes from the final exam. That's automatically weighted in Skyward. Within the term 1 and term 2 grades, 85% of the term grade comes from assessments, so that'll be like tests, quizzes, and projects. And then 15% of their grade comes from classwork, so that'll include bell work, participation, and homework. Students' homework is going to be on a website/app called Duolingo, and if you go on the Canvas calendar, the link to that website is on last week's agenda. So Duolingo is a website that's designed to kind of naturally teach students to use the language as they go through. I do want students to learn from their mistakes as they go through that homework. So they should not be using any like Google Translate. They shouldn't be using any sort of bilingual dictionaries. They shouldn't realistically need notes either while they're using Duolingo. It has supports within the website, and then if the kids don't know the correct answer on their first try with those supports that are already there, then let the website teach them when they make the mistake. So that should give them time to learn as they go. The most exciting thing for me about the end of this year is that during the summer there will be an optional field trip to Quebec, Canada. In the French-speaking region of Canada, students from this district have an annual trip that's available. It is organized by Mr. Peter Gerbert, who is the French teacher at Riverside Middle School. So if you have specific questions about the details for that trip, then please send him an email at pgerbert@hsc.k12.in.us. Gerbert is spelled Girbert. I am running out of time very quickly, but I hope that your kids have a wonderful time in this class this year. I hope that you guys feel free to ask me any questions that you might have, and I am so glad to be working with you guys. Bonne soirée. Have a good night.